Good day, guys. Welcome to the channel. I am here today with Louis Ernest, and you saw it on one of my other channels where I had an interview at the Headingley truck stop at the Flying J with Ernie and with his story with his paperwork. So I am here with Ernie now because a lot of you guys ask more and more questions. So today Ernie is gonna explain a little bit further about the whole story, what it came and why they took him to the hospital and all that. So guys, here is good day, Ernie. Welcome to our channel. And Ernie, we have guys here. They would really like to know a little bit more about your story from what happened at the border and what brought you forward from the border, because you went from the border and then it went to the hospital and all that, and the documents what you supplied it to them. Can you show the viewers or tell the viewers this story a little bit?
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction. My name is Ernie Lewis. I am an Indigenous man from the Robinson Superior Treaty. Um, I've been crossing the border for the last 28 years as being a commercial truck driver. I had never in my journey had experienced this discrimination at the border like I received. On January the 17th, I went to Boise Paper at International Falls to swap out a trailer to bring a full one back into Canada. I have no problems going into the U.S. They welcome me with open arms and carry you on your way. And on my return on the 17th, approximately about 10:30, 11 o'clock, I entered the border. I handed my ACE manifest to clear the load that I have on. I handed them my driver's license, my status card, and the vaccine passport. And in the response from the passport, they said they cannot use it because they said they don't know what's on there. And I said, okay. So I handed them the Ontario vaccine card proving to the borders that I am fully vaccinated. And they said, oh, we could use that one. I said, okay, thank you very much. I want my paper stamp. And so I could go. And she goes, well, that is not good enough. You need to have the Arrive Cam app on your phone.
The Arrive Cam app, can you explain just briefly a little bit what that means? That's just for trucks to arrive, or what does that mean?
I do not know the full term
Okay.
of the Arrive Cam app, but apparently it's an app that Canadian people crossing the border, even if you're not a commercial driver, you produce your Cam app and they will accept it.
That means the QR code app that you are vaccinated. Because I heard from people when they come to the border, they don't even need to show. Your phone communicates with the border. So that app, what they're talking about, I think it's the QR code app.
Okay. So I said at that point, and I explained to the custom officer, and I said the Arrive Cam app, it is not going to happen. For one reason, when you apply for that Cam app, it has a GPS on every place you've been to and how long you've been out of the country. And that is a fundamental right of freedom that we should have to report wherever we've been. Like, that's an infringement, I believe, that doesn't agree with the Charter Rights and Freedom. So I said, well, that's not going to happen. And they explained to me that you cannot leave without that. And I said, pointed out to them, at this point, I'm going to exercise my right as an Indigenous man that you cannot stop me. I am born and raised in Canada. My reserve is in the Robinson Superior Treaty of 1850, and it's still a binding agreement today. And so I explained to the custom officers that this agreement that I have is a head of state agreement, and that you cannot stop me. And she says, we are not stopping you. You could go anytime you want. I said, thank you very much. Now, could you stamp my paper, hand my IDs back? Oh, that's not going to happen. I said, well, why are you contradicting yourself? And we're not contradicting, you're free to go. Well, if I'm free to go, stamp my paper and I could proceed. And again, they replied, that is not going to happen. So I was denied entry on the 17th, and on the 18th, they came back out one more time and asked me what my position was. And I said, I already explained to you yesterday, that I'm exercising my treaty rights and you have no right to stop me here at the border. And so the supervisor at Customs says, we are going to phone the OPP and have you charged. And my reply to them, thank you very much, because now I have something to work with, a document showing your position. And so the OPP arrived to my truck. I start handing him all my bags out of the truck, and he put them on the ground. And as soon as he was done on the last bag, I was totally surprised that they sent an ambulance. And the ambulance come back, the attendant came to me and knocked on the door. Ernie, what are you doing? I explained it to them. I'm fully vaccinated. I give them my passport, and they're not allowing me to leave. They said, well, Ernie, could we take you into the ambulance to do a vital check on you? So I proceeded, and they hooked me all up, and the kg, whatever it is, and blood pressure was a bit high, about 7 points, of course, like being under the stress that I'm at that moment. And they said, well, you know what, there's nothing here that's wrong. I said, I know that. It's the customs that's not handing me my ACE manifest for the load to be cleared. And they're holding my driver's license. And she says, well, we're going to take you to the hospital. I go, what? Yeah, we're going to have you checked out at the hospital. So they took me to the hospital. The nurse checked out my vital signs again. And they sent in a doctor. And she just looked at me. She goes, there's nothing wrong with you. What's wrong? I go, I don't have a problem. It's customs. And after the doctor left, 2 crisis workers came into the room and asked me, Ernie, what's going on? What's up? I said, I'm trying to clear my load, get my ID so I could carry on. And she goes, your ID? Yes. She said, I'm going to go to the custom officer right now to pick up your ID. And I'm going to have a word with them. No longer than about 10 minutes, they came back in and said, Ernie, we got your ID. The doctor released me from the hospital. And the police said, we're going to take you to the station. I said, thank you. So I went to the OPP station, and they said, Ernie, we got a bus fare from Fort Frances to take you back to Winnipeg. I go, what? He says, yeah, we're paying your bus fare back to Winnipeg. I said, this is the most craziest thing that I ever encountered. You know, to come across into my own country and to put up this kind of harassment. And so we proceeded at the OPP, and they handed me my bus fare back to Winnipeg. My bus was at 1:30 in the afternoon in Port Francis, Ontario. When we were arriving to the bus depot, they said they are not pressing any charges against me. I said, thank you very much. And then the following week was my court case for January the 26th at 2:00 in the afternoon on another matter with the COVID Act at the Emerson border. And they charged me $8,500 fine for that incident. So I went to court on January 26th at 2:00 in the afternoon. I had all my paperwork, my case ready, and they said this was only a primary court. They wanted to know what my situation was. I was going to plead guilty, not guilty, guilty with a explanation, or do you want to take this to trial? And I proceeded to say that we are going to take this to trial. And then they give me the option that it is a not charter rights, constitutional matter that I would have to petition the.
So what we'll do, we'll cut this off here and on to our next video. What we will do, it will explain, Ernie is going to explain you a little bit with federal and DIM all together. So guys, if you like this, please like, share, and subscribe to the video and send them further. And then on the next video, you will hear Ernie talking about the court altogether.